What's up, everybody? Sydney Goodman here to wish you a happy holiday, which also means it's that time of the year where we look on back and remember all the wild that happened this year, and it's a lot, but we're only keeping it to 10. It's time for the top 10 news stories of 2019. Move over, Sauron, because a new baddie is headed to Amazon's Lord of the Rings. Joseph Mawle, aka Uncle Benjen from Game of Thrones, has been cast as an unnamed villain for Amazon's upcoming Lord of the Rings series, currently in the works. No news on much else other than me hoping we get some morsel of info sometime next year. Please, sir.
I want some more.
It's been a tough year for Gamestop, but it's not a game, so stop. That didn't make any sense, but I had to say it. The company is looking to shake things up with a brand new makeover. Back in September, a Facebook video tour surfaced of a redesigned GameStop in Pryor, Oklahoma. This particular redesign emphasizes retro games, but other stores will feature a setup dedicated to esports or be more in line with a traditional store. I just feel bad for all those GameStop employees who will inevitably be relegated to babysitting duty. Remember a time when we had no idea who or what was coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? The internet was wilding out trying to figure out who Sakurai would bring to the game. Then, over on a Japanese forum, 5channel, Mr. Anonymous Desperate leaked the remaining fighters that would come to Smash. They predicted Erdrick from Dragon Quest. He goes by Hero in game, but we'll call that a win. Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. Nope. Minecraft Steve. Nuh-uh. And finally, the Marine from Doom, also a big nope. But who knows, Mr. Desperate could still be right, since there is one additional fighter who has yet to be revealed. You're all expecting me to say Master Chief, but I've got my fingers crossed for BJ Blazkowicz. Matt Reeves' The Batman is shaping up to be a star-studded reimagining of Batman. And it all happened when we got what I assumed to be confirmation that Robert Pattinson was indeed our new Batman with one simple tweet. If that's all it takes to be Batman, then take a look at this, Warner Brothers. Make it happen. Remember that brief period of time when we all thought Spider-Man was being ripped out of the MCU? That was this year. Wild, right? Following this year's D23, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige and Tom Holland addressed the Sony Marvel breakup head-on. Holland acknowledged the greatness that was his Spider-Man movies, and they both speculated about the future being bright for the wall-crawler. Thankfully, the breakup didn't last long, as we all know, but that is a tale for another news story. After saying goodbye to his primary source of income, George R.R. Martin once again acknowledged his secondary source of bringing home the bacon, his books. In a post where he bid farewell to the HBO adaptation of Game of Thrones, Martin acknowledged the question of fans of the franchise. Will the books end the same way as the show? His answer is what you'd expect. He answered, quote, well, yes, and no, and yes, and no, and yes, and no, and yes. Which makes me think he's using the TV series to put the test feelers out for potential endings for the show. And since none of them worked, write something new, maybe, please. Hopefully. Huh. Everyone loves knowing how much other people make, and the same is no different for the cast of Avengers Endgame. Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. took the top 2 spots, earning $76.4 million and $66 million, respectively. Followed by Bradley Cooper donning the CGI greens once again and bringing in $57 million, followed by ScarJo at $56 million, Chris Evans at $43.5 million, and Paul Rudd with $41 million. These numbers are so big. Even though some people made more than others, at the end of the day, they all made more than us. Probably all combined. Yay. In what felt like the final nail in the coffin for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, there came a point this year where Sony Pictures and Marvel Disney failed to come to a compromise surrounding Marvel's use of Spider-Man in the MCU. And so, it looked like Spider-Man had been hurled from Mount Olympus to land safely at Sony Pictures for his own set of Sony-produced Spider-Man movies. Fortunately, an agreement between the two titans of industry came to the conclusion that we will indeed get another Marvel-produced Spider-Man movie. The only thing people love more than finding out about how much others make is when celebrities go on temper tantrums.
Are you sweet talking me?
Yeah, I'm talking about you. After the glowing debut of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker, a report from THR revealed that Suicide Squad's Joker, Jared Leto, was, quote, alienated and upset when Warner Brothers gave another Joker movie the green light. Maybe just try again next time, bud. Avengers Endgame is likely one of the most impressive cinematic feats in recent memory, so it makes sense that a small Easter egg stinger ranks in at number 1. In true Marvel fashion, Endgame rewarded viewers who sat through the credits with a nice callback to how it all began. Tony Stark hammering away at metal, forging his first Iron Man suit. This is news because it was speculation on our part at first, later confirmed by Endgame editor Jeffrey Ford. Nice touch. And once again, superheroes continued to dominate the news all year long, but with brand new consoles and arguably one of the biggest years ahead for video games, 2020 might be another magical year full of wonder, with games like Cyberpunk 2077 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake on the horizon. But until then, have a happy holiday from us here at IGN to you and yours. See you in 2020.
Bye.